All right, we're mobbing today, you guys. That's one way to put it. G80, 2025 Genesis G80. I'm gonna take you guys for a quick POV drive. It's in this matte gray. Actually looks stunning. I think the G80 is a great looking vehicle. Of course, it's a mid-size luxury. Think E-Class, 5 Series, that kind of thing, right? So there's a few changes for this model year. One is the front bumper. So this is, in Canada at least, it's called the Sport Plus, or for you guys in the States, Sport Prestige. And that adds a distinct front bumper. All G80s get a different revised front bumper with a slightly bigger grille, but this one has a little bit more aggressive well, I was going to call them openings, but they're not. This is all fake vents going on here. So it gives the illusion that there's more cooling with the Sport model, but there isn't actually. And then of course, 20-inch 5-spokes on the top trims. And the top trim also comes with a few other features that we'll get into that are absolutely crucial to how this drives. Genesis is trying to blur luxury and kind of a sport driving experience, although Genesis to me is like definitely distinctively their luxury brand. So on the surface, it seems a little bit strange that they would be trying to extract a lot of, I don't know, sporting feel out of it, but that's what they're attempting to do. Great looking vehicle. It is slightly bigger, slightly longer, I should say, in both wheelbase and overall length than the E450 or the E-Class. And I will be driving the E53 AMG in a couple weeks, so I'll give you guys my take on that. But the rear end is where it kind of falls apart for me. I don't think it looks nearly as good as the E-Class. It doesn't have such a traditional sedan shape, so like this is just a straight slope. It kind of reminds me of the CLS. These lines are really good here. Overall, I think it's really good looking, but it just, the rear end, some angles, it looks a little bit awkward. It kind of has hints of Aston Martin, I want to say, Rapide, with the taillights going on there. And then of course a slightly revised rear bumper as well, dual exhaust. This one does have the twin turbo 3.5 liter V6 under the hood, 375 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque, obviously longitudinally mounted. All G80s are all-wheel drive. And yeah, let's just go for a drive. Starting price $74,000 Canadian or $58,000 USD, and as tested, 80,000 USD or 90 Canadian. So it is a lot, but you do get a lot with that. Check out the trunk. Power opening trunk. Pretty good. One thing I will note, you can't put the seats down. There is a pass-through for whatever you desire, but the E-Class, you can put the seats down. Here you can't do that, although this has slightly more cargo space in the trunk than an E-Class. Yes. Soft closed doors. That's huge. We got the sunshades there, Bang & Olufsen sound system, and right here, don't mind the camera up there, we have a great rear passenger experience. You do have heated seats back here, the sunshade in the rear, quilted leathers on the top trim here. Center console, you've got 2 USB-Cs, like a ton of space. This is acceptable piano black. I'll accept this. This is fine. And then climate control, of course, here. A ton of leg room, but if there is a center passenger, of course, you can't get to your heated seats. One other thing, this center seat belt, like, where am I supposed to put this? If I'm just sitting here, it's like kind of digging into my back a little bit. So that's a little bit weird. There's the pass-through. Before we go for a drive, I will say, it does have, the top trim at least, rear steer. It does have rear steer. So what that will do is that was not me. Somebody curbed this wheel. At lower speeds, the rear wheels will effectively turn in the opposite direction of the fronts. So it cuts the turning radius by a lot. And at lower speeds, will it provide better maneuverability and steering? We'll see. But what it also comes with is an E-LSD, electronically controlled rear differential, which when this launched in 2021 did not have that. So huge upgrade in that sense, or it should be, as far as the driving experience goes. There we go. The seat comes back to greet me. Got all their seat controls down on the bottom here, 4-way adjustable lumbar. And Ergo Motion, Genesis calls it, which is their word, their lazy massage seats. It's really just kind of pushing the lumbar out and back in, and then your butt as well goes up and down a little bit. It's better than nothing. It actually does a lot to get rid of fatigue if you're on the freeway for a long time. As you can see, I'm averaging 15.3 liters per 100 kilometers. That's terrible. That's something like 16 miles per gallon or thereabouts. I have been getting better, but I've been driving it slightly aggressively. It should get an average of 19 miles per gallon or 13.1 liters per 100 kilometers, which, if you compare it to that E450, if you compare it to a BMW 540iX drive, both with a little bit smaller, 6 cylinders, this gets way worse fuel economy. So just take that into consideration. It's a heavy vehicle, just over 4,600 pounds here. First things you notice, or maybe you don't notice, it is so quiet in here. The G80 is so clearly, upon all first impressions, a luxury car first, and a dynamic experience second. And I think that's how it should stay. In all the trim levels, the word sport is used often. And that's, of course, yeah, the rear E-LSD is great. The rear steer provides great maneuverability, but also like a ton of stability in the corners, and helps it kind of shrink the car around you and not feel so big. But at the end of the day, this is a comfortable, quiet car, which is a little bit strange when you get to the suspension, because in the top tier models, this active suspension that'll kind of read the road ahead of you and adapt to the road conditions preemptively, it's sport tuned. So I've heard it's a little bit stiffer, past this guy here, than the standard suspension you get in all the other G80s. So if you go top tier, you have to get the sport tuned suspension. Not only that, all G80s now come with standard 4-piston fixed caliper brakes up front, which is great. In most driving scenarios here on the street, you do not have to go hand over hand. You could just keep your hands at 9 and 3, and it is, I mean, swerve side to side. At the beginning, it feels a little bit unsettling, artificial, but the maneuverability is a great trade-off. Yeah, it's great. The rear steer is awesome. I wouldn't change a thing. It makes the car so easy to live with, and then you get out and you walk away and you're like, this is a massive vehicle. Not G90 sized, but massive. Now, we do have drive modes. Let's go straight into Sport Plus. The seat kind of hugs you a little bit. And what we can do here, this is touchscreen too, by the way, if we wanted it to be. Setup, vehicle, active sound design. We'll get the fake noises for you guys through these corners here. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the gas. So 8-speed auto. As you can hear, it's not the greatest sounding engine. It's not terrible, but it's no inline 6, that's for sure. Gotta give Genesis credit where credit's due. That rear steer is, I mean, in my opinion, a must-have if you spec a G80. It's still a soft car at the end of the day. There's body roll, but the LSD just gives you that little bit of extra confidence pulling out of corners. There's no like distinct understeer characteristics. We're on the street, we're not on a track, but overall, there's not a whole ton of feel through the steering, but even at higher speeds, you still get really good precision. It's got a variable ratio steering rack, so that's also why, in combination with the rear steer, you get like not a lot of steering input needed at low speeds. But at high speeds, it's fluid, it works. The car doesn't feel separated or kind of like it's gonna do anything unpredictable. Very predictable. And it's fun to drive. This is not something I was expecting from a Genesis product, let alone their mid-size SUV sedan. G70, of course, you expect some good driving habits, characteristics, and torque is just really good. Below 2,000 RPM, you don't feel a noticeable turbo spool. The torque is just kind of always there. It largely feels naturally aspirated, which is kind of insane to say, but it does. And for the price, while it doesn't undercut a lot of the Europeans quite like it used to, you can get more power in a 5 Series for the same money. It's just such an easy to use product. Not physical, but the climate control is always there. It is haptic, but it always works. The center screen here, the new 27-inch center screen, I forgot to mention, just works really well. And while Mercedes and BMW have more options as far as the user experience go, like a cohesive luxury package, they're a little bit better. The G80 is a phenomenal vehicle. Absolutely a comfortable luxury vehicle. And I just hope in the future that Genesis doesn't try to squeeze too much out of the chassis in chasing M and AMG, because A, I don't think they're going to get there, and B, it doesn't cater to the strengths of the G80 underpinnings, what I'm feeling here. It doesn't ride quite as well as an E450, but it's close. It's really good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Just a quick drive today. Not the craziest vehicle, but like I said, E53 AMG, I will be driving that soon. You guys will see that and a few other modified cars. I'm going to try to get some more modified cars on the channel. Of course, if you want to see the full review, and same with all those modified cars I mentioned, the main channel link is in the description. We'll see you next time.